Well, we have a tough game ahead of us down in Nashville against Vanderbilt. They are a tough team and always a tough place to go play. So they're hard to score against and have another really good defensive team, and will make it difficult on us. So we've had a good week of preparation, and we just need to really work hard here the next couple of days and see if we can go down and get a really important victory for our basketball team.
Coach, I'm going to jump ship right quick right here. And can you talk about Jen ONeill and how she's become more vocal this year? Have you noticed any differences than in past years?
Well, I think it's just another year of progress for her, and she's had some challenges in that area of being more vocal, and lately she's been very vocal. And yesterday in practice, I was complimenting her on how she was communicating on defense, and I think that when she does that and she is vocal and is talkative with her teammates, it helps our team. So it's not something that comes natural for her. She's had to work at it and had to work real hard to do it. So anytime you see a player get outside of their comfort zone and do something in order to help the team, it's valuable for us and it's valuable for her as she progresses as a player and a person. So it's a good development when that's happening.
Let's stay on Jen ONeill. Her three-point shot in SEC play is like, the percentages are way higher in SEC play than they were in the regular season. She mentioned something about quality over quantity and those things sort of being pushed in practice. Mm-hmm. What has changed for her as far as three-point shooting?
Well, we've tried to cut down on the one pass threes. So I pass it to you, and it's the first pass in the offense. I think Jennifer felt a great sense of responsibility to lead us in scoring. And I think it got a little out of whack and all kind of came to a head at Duke. Just took a lot of bad shots at Duke, a lot of quick shots. I think it was all out of desire to win the game, and we just wanted to try to start shooting threes after we'd gotten the ball, our 2 feet in the ball in the paint. Is what we tell our guards to do. Try to get in the paint, or try to get the ball in with the pass to a post and a post kick it out. But just trying to shoot inside out threes instead of one pass threes. And so we've done a much better job of that in conference play. And as far as her percentage, when she takes good on-balance shots, she's a very good shooter. When she takes off-balance shots and tough shots, she makes some of those, but not as high a percentage as she does when she's taking on balance and in rhythm and ready to shoot. So it's funny with someone like her, I really have to stay after her when she gets over to the point guard position. She starts trying to facilitate, and she doesn't look to score as much. And we need both Michaela and Jennifer, when they're at the point, we need them to score. So you just try to stay with it on the little things that matter. And sometimes Jennifer struggles in those areas, and so we've just really tried to make it a point of emphasis for her in conference play. No problem.
Can you describe your relationship on the court with her, and what will you remember once she leaves as a person and as a player?
Well, on the court, we've had a good relationship. It's much like a family. We've had some ups and downs, but I think that the person that she's developing into and the player she's developed into has been because of all the hard work that's gone on, and a lot of people have put in a lot of time with her here. I've certainly tried to spend as much time as I could in helping her develop. And I think the things I'll remember most are, just the growth. The growth. She came in as our first McDonald's All-American, and, just didn't have a real great work ethic and sort of took shortcuts, and now she's developed into a very hard-working player. She's, early to practice and late to leave, and in her free time working on her game, watching film, things like that. So she went from a player who didn't really value hard work into a player that really values that. And so that's, I think, what I'll remember the most. We've had, 5 years together. You build a very strong relationship, and through a lot of ups and downs. And I just think, the struggle makes you stronger and brings you closer together. So I'll remember her for a lot of things, but those are some that kind of stick out to me.
Why is this team so good at offensive rebounding? It seems like, I think you lead the league in that stat, and you obviously don't have the biggest or the longest team in the league.
Well, one thing is we have Lene Harper on our team, and so that helps you a lot because she is just very gifted offensive rebounder. She can just go get rebounds. So, you have a single presence there that really helps you a lot. And then, our guards are pretty athletic, and so we try to do it as a team. And, we just emphasize it. We really emphasize it, and try to stay aggressive. I think it's one of the things that we've had to do out of necessity to have a chance to be a good team, and so, I think also offensive rebounding is a sign of players playing hard, and we take a lot of pride in that. We try to play real hard. So I wouldn't know the exact reason why, but those are some of the things I think that lead us to being a good rebounding team on the offensive glass.
I asked about the number of three-point shots you took after the last game. I think it was 23.
Yeah.
And I thought that seemed high for a team that you usually coach. And you said that you probably are okay taking that many and that you're comfortable with a lot of, do you want this team to become a better or a more prolific three-point shooting team?
Well, you have to look at what you can get accomplished here. It's about 24 days left in the regular season. And so, what can you do? Where can you move the needle? And it just looks like we're going to see a lot of zone. And if they're good threes, I think over the next 24 days, we can probably make more improvement shooting, on balance, paying attention to the little things than we could putting in some new wrinkle offensively. We're dealing with so many young players that, you get to a point where you can just overload their brain and they sort of become robotic. I think Kyvan's a good example of that, and Alyssa and Alexis are good examples of, I've really tried to look at how can we become our best, and I think simplifying things, and we've just been working a lot of zone concepts this week offensively, and if you're aggressive and you are hunting the paint constantly as guards, and if everybody just collapses on you, we think that's a good three-point shot, and we just need to be ready to step in and shoot them. So I don't know. We won't ever go into a game. I think some people go into a game that are, three-point shooting teams with a goal. We got to get a certain number of three-point attempts up. We're really just trying to get the best shot that we can get. And Georgia just was not going to make it easy on us to get the ball in the paint. And I think a lot of teams are doing that against us because we are, you look at the South Carolina game, we scored 39 or 40 points in the first half against their man-to-man. And we just have some good guards that can get to the basket and create some shots and do some things. And, Alexis Jennings, one-on-one in the post is pretty tough. So I think people feel like the way to attack us is with a zone. And so you don't need to shoot 1,000,000 of them, but you need to make a few.
circumstances of your last bye week were pretty crazy between the loss at LSU and still trying to figure out sort of life after Janae. But how is the team maybe different from then, and how has this bye week been different in terms of your approach
Well,
to it?
they handled, they probably enjoyed it more this week because they didn't get punished at 6 a.m. in the morning with some pretty tough, workouts during that week. Is what we did, and because of our lack of effort against LSU. So, we came off of a good effort against Georgia. It was not the prettiest game ever, but we showed some toughness there, and we just tried to work on the things that are going to make this team the best it can be, and I think that'll be a good team. But spent a lot of time as coaches trying to figure out the best way to communicate with the team and help them. And our young players are working so hard, and they're getting better, and I just want to be the best coach for them that I can and get the most out of them. And so we've just spent a lot of time this week working and trying to get better, and hopefully you'll see that Sunday in Nashville.
He asked about Janae. I'm wondering sort of what you've seen from her since she had the accident or the incident, and how your team has responded. And she seems to be coping with it well.
Yeah.
Is that what you're seeing?
Yeah. She's just commented several times about how amazing everyone's been, especially her teammates have just been great to her. I'm constantly asking her what she needs, and she says, Coach, my teammates are amazing. They really help her out and have helped her through it. She's helping us out a lot. I'm trying to spend time with her either before or after every practice and just seeing what she sees. She was in the huddles on Sunday against Georgia, really giving great feedback there. So, it just stinks so bad that she doesn't get to play, and I think she's handling it really well. There's some down times and some times where I wish she was out there, and she wishes she was out there, and those are hard times. But we're trying to have the most positive outlook we can have. I think that's very, very important for her and for just all of us in general to really have a positive outlook every day, and we're just looking forward to June when she can get back with us and get going. So she's doing well physically, feeling good. The pain is not there all the time now, so she's really happy about that. It's she's got to bump it wrong or something for it to hurt. It's not waking her up at night, and so that's been a great development for her and lifted her spirit some. So she's doing well, and again, it's been a very uplifting experience just to see how everyone's, including all the people at South Carolina, and the outpouring of support from around the country. I mean, I've had coaches sit down and write letters to me, talking about how they're praying for her and how they're encouraging her. And so it's been a pretty remarkable experience, and learned a lot through it.
The athletics department came out this week and said that they were going to be offering cost of attendance money for players. I'm curious if that comes up at all in your recruiting in living rooms or with parents or kids. And then do you think how much of a benefit or will that help, I guess, in any way?
Well, I think it will come up a good bit. One thing is, a lot of times these parents are going through it for the first time, so there are a lot of questions, and we always have to remind ourselves that it's the first and, in an overwhelming majority, it's the first and only time these folks will go through this process. So there's always a lot of questions. It'll certainly help the kids because it gives them some more money. The kids can't get out and get a job, really. They just don't have time. They don't have time to put some extra money in their pocket. They're certainly not lazy people. They're up early, at least at Kentucky, they're up early every day. They go to class. They work real hard academically. we're very demanding basketball-wise, and so there's just not a lot of time to have a part-time job. So, I think it's very positive for the players. We're very, very fortunate at Kentucky that financially we're in a position where this can happen. We're real appreciative of being in that circumstance, and Mr. Barnhart leads us so well in those areas. So it's a good development for the players. I don't know. I don't know how it's all going to work out with the I don't know what they call us now, the Power Five, or what that the Power Five conferences, I think, is what they're calling that. So I don't know how that will impact people on the periphery of that. I do know that there are some teams that are outside those conferences who are going to do the same thing. So everybody's going to be able to. I think it's going to be tough at some places. So, I'm glad I'm not the person figuring all that stuff out. So for us and our players, it'll be a good development. I don't know if I answered your question or not. Okay.